Am I the asshole for canceling my Mills phone plan so she can't let my nephew use it? Am I the asshole here? Everyone around me says yes, but I feel super gaslighted by my husband's family right now. We are both late 20s, no kids. We added my Mill to our cell plan a few years ago when we got married because she lives alone and didn't have a cell phone. My husband thinks it will keep her safer to have one for emergencies. At the time we added her, for her phone and plan it was around $20 extra per month. Plan costs have gone up and she got a nicer phone, so now it's close to $50 per month. Pretty steep, with the way the economy is, am I right? Anyway, my husband's brother has a young kid, he's 8. He's a nice kid, but not my responsibility. When I called my Mill's cell phone a few days ago, my nephew answered. I asked him if he was at Grandma's house and if I could talk to her. He said no, he was at his house and Grandma has given him her cell phone to keep because his parents wouldn't get him one. My Mill didn't tell me or my husband about this and I got pretty angry. I'm already not thrilled about paying for her to have a cell phone. I'm definitely not happy about paying for my 8-year-old nephew to have it. I went to her house and told her that if she wasn't going to use the phone, I was going to take it off our plan and that I wanted the iPhone back from nephew because my husband's screen is cracked and he can have hers. It will save us a few $100 since we won't have to buy a new phone. Needless to say, she's mad now because it's her phone to do with as she pleases and she wants nephew to have it. I told her it's not her phone and we won't pay for it if he's using it. I told hubby I was canceling it and then I did. I told him if she wants a phone again or wants nephew to have one, she can sign up for her own plan. He's mad that I did that. Mill is mad. Nephew and his parents are mad. But I did get the phone back since it's no longer working on our plan. So am I the asshole? I don't think I am. We all have to make cuts where we can with this economy. Wait, the parents who wouldn't let their 8-year-old have a phone are mad? Shouldn't they be angry that your Mill went over their heads, or is nephew not getting a phone is for financial reasons? Edit to add not the asshole either way. Not the asshole. The whole point was for Mill to have it because she lives alone and might have an emergency. If she chooses not to keep it, then you don't have to pay for anything. Not the asshole at all. Cancel it. You bought it for a specific purpose, to keep your Mill safe. It is not serving that purpose and canceling it is completely reasonable. It's her phone to do with as she pleases. Well, okay, you can pay for it, then. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. Your husband and you put Mill on your cell plan for her well-being. She's gotten a nicer phone and plane costs have gone up, so instead of $20 you now pay $50 to assure Mil's well-being. You have paid her cell phone costs for several years now. 8-year-old nephew's parents won't give him a phone. Mill gives your phone and plan, $50 each month, to 8-year-old. Now his parents don't mind him having a phone. No one informed owners and payers of said phone and plan. OP cancels plan and recuperates phone. Now everybody faults OP for not wanting to pay $600 a year for having husband's brother's 8-year-old on their phone plan. Entitled anyone? Am I the asshole for not cleaning up after my nephew and making my pregnant sister do it? I, 28F. Live with my husband, 32M, and we have no children. We finally bought our own home, and moved in last month. My sister, Tess, has a son, 8M, and they came over for the first time yesterday. My husband wasn't at home, so it was just us 3 there. Tess is currently 7 months pregnant with her second child. The issue started with my nephew asking me where the bathroom was. I showed him. He was in the bathroom for about 2 minutes and he came out and everything was fine, until I went in there. I went in and he peed on the floor and toilet seat instead of in the actual toilet. There was a lot. I come out asking Tess to come in here and I showed her. I asked her if she can clean up, and she said she was way too tired to clean and asked me to do it. I told her that is disgusting and she is capable of cleaning up after her son. She then told me if I was being serious and that she's pregnant and it's hard to clean up. I asked her what she does at her home and if she even cleans there, and she got pissed at me and reluctantly cleaned it up. Tess eventually left. She gave me a cold look before she left and hasn't spoken to me since. Besides the text, "Fuck off," word got to my mom. And I got a call from her telling me that she cannot believe that I'd make Tess do that, and that I'll never understand pregnancy. She knows I'm child-free, and I don't understand how tiring is it to be pregnant. I feel like I'm going crazy here. My husband agrees with what I did, but my mom and sister are not so happy with me. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Her 8-year-old son should have cleaned it, unless he has a medical issue. I'm 9 months pregnant, literally due any second, and I am fully capable of cleaning up after my 2 kids. I would be horrified if my kids did that in someone else's home. Not the asshole, an 8-year-old is old enough to not piss all over the toilet, that was on purpose. He should have been the one to clean it up. After him, of course it would be her. It's her child that made the mess. Info. Did it never occur to either of you that an 8-year-old boy is old enough to grab a Lysol wipe and clean up the mess he left on the toilet? Someone better start teaching this kid now, or he's going to be a real gem. Not the asshole, but neither of you should have cleaned it up. It should have been him. He's 8, not an infant. I am more concerned about the 8-year-old that's peeing all over the place. What is going on there? Am I the asshole for saying, that sounds like a you problem? My husband is a chronic procrastinator. He has ADHD and I'm sure that plays a role, but I will say that it mostly comes down to things like chores. When it comes to leisure activities, he doesn't procrastinate at all and usually rushes me. So basically he will say things like, I will do the dishes when I get back from the store, and then never do them because he forgets. Or if trash needs to be taken out, he will say, wake me up in the morning when you get the kids on the bus and I will do it then, but then never does. If the house needs cleaning and I start getting to work, he will try to convince me to wait a few hours so he can help, but if I do wait, it never gets done. And it truly is him forgetting. It's not deliberate by any means. Even if he is the one cooking dinner that night, he will usually forget that he's cooking and randomly say, oh shit, and run out of the room at $1:10 so he doesn't burn the food because he truly forgot he was cooking at all. I always remember and am super aware of everything, so obviously I would never let it get to a point of disaster, but I do make a point to not say anything unless I absolutely have to. Anyways, this is how it's always been. I'm so used to it at this point that it doesn't really bother me. I actually enjoy cleaning, but some days the help would be nice, and he does help when he actually remembers. He's not useless by any means, and he does absolutely try to take the load off my hands. He truly just forgets often. But I will say that lately I've been frustrated. I'm 20 weeks pregnant. Getting a little slow on movement and increasingly tired and dare I say lazy myself. I still do my part, but I admittedly do not want to. Hormones and fatigue are a bitch. But anyways, I got in a deep clean mode like 2 days ago and started going ham on this house. My husband said he wanted to help me but had an appointment to detail a vehicle first. So he leaves. The appointment should have only been an hour, but he came back in roughly 2.5. Turns out he knew the guy from school and they were catching up. By the time he got home, the house was sparkling clean. He says something like, shit, I should have came home sooner. I got caught up and forgot. So I said, that sounds like a you problem. He asked what I meant and I said, you forgetting everything is a you problem. I've dealt with it for years and I no longer want to hear it used as an excuse. I was frustrated. My back was killing me and I just wanted to sit and enjoy my book in peace without being disturbed. He shook his head and said, that was uncalled for, and walked off. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Actually, it was called for. He can and should take steps to deal with his ADHD. You have been dealing with the consequences of his ADHD and memory issues. In a sense, you're enabling his failure to do something about them. With an infant child soon to be joining your family, it's past time for him to do something, even if it's to learn memory management tricks. Otherwise, he can't be trusted to be alone with the new baby. Deal with this before something really bad happens. Not the asshole. What you said was true and long overdue. Your husband's ADHD is his problem and he needs to work with his doctor to find a way to manage it so that he can be a true partner to you and a father to your soon-to-be child. Look up executive function with ADHD. Things like chores, dishes, showering, cleaning, laundry, etc., can be quite challenging for someone with ADHD. They may need reminders or find ways to cope with it. It's totally normal to be frustrated with it, so you guys need to communicate and he needs to figure out ways to do better and make more of an effort to not be so forgetful, like setting an alarm, etc. Not the asshole. It's only going to get worse once the baby is born. Hope you have a very large support system because you're going to need it. Not the asshole, but I have ADHD and it is so hard for me to remember anything and chores often fall by the wayside, due to executive dysfunction. But he needs to figure out himself how to deal, like set alarms. Say, I will do 25 cleaning up acts this morning. I actually had my husband change the Wi-Fi password so I didn't get sidetracked before I was done. Would I be the asshole if I confront my brother about his wedding? My older brother is getting married in 2 months. His fiancée's family is paying for the whole wedding and they're having it in the Bahamas. They planned a smallish wedding of 60 guests. The only person from our family he invited is our mom. This was obviously a little upsetting for myself and my siblings, but we understood. We have a large family. My mom has 7 kids and has 8 siblings. You can't really have a small wedding if you invite your large family, and it becomes more complicated when you start picking and choosing who in the family can come. There are no hard feelings with him deciding just to have our mom there. The problem is my mom doesn't want to go alone for a few reasons. She has never flown before or left the country. She is very nervous for this aspect alone. She will also not know anybody at the wedding other than my brother. She's met his fiancé's parents and siblings, but it was awkward and there's definitely not a great relationship there. Her family are very rich and our family is the opposite. As a result, there is a large cultural difference, and my brother's future mill said a few things that upset my mom, although I don't think she meant harm. Because of all this, my mom asked my brother if she could bring her partner of 5 years. My brother denied this. My mom assumed he had an issue with her bringing her partner specifically, and then later asked if she could bring her sister to stay in her room. Not even to the wedding or reception itself, but to the hotel, so she didn't have to travel alone and had someone to stay at the hotel with her as she will be in the country for 5 days. She said she'd find a way to cover the extra costs. He again denied her. At this point I'm kind of pissed off because my mom is really upset about the whole thing. She was upset originally about none of our family being invited to the wedding, and is now even more upset as she's actually scared about traveling and staying in other country basically alone. I want to confront my brother about this, but my mom has told me not to. Nobody is asking him to invite anyone else to the wedding. I just want him to allow my mom to have a +1 so she's not all alone for a week. My uncle has already said if he doesn't allow her a guest, he's just going to fly down there with her and find a cheap hotel for the week. I respect that it's my brother's wedding and I shouldn't interfere, but I think he's being an ass to our mom and refusing to listen to her fears about going alone. Wibta if I bring it up again and try pressure him into allowing her to bring my aunt? ETA. The reason my mom is trying to get his permission to bring someone to the hotel is that all the food etc. is included, and the bride's family is paying. So she would have to organize paying him back. There's absolutely something else going on here. There are 60 guests but only 1 from the groom's side? Come on. You can't be that blind. Your edit makes it worse. They're hosting a wedding. Only invite the groom's mom but don't give her a +1, and expect to be paid back for the cost of food if the +1 attends? How hard is that to do? Do they not accept cash, check, PayPal, Venmo or Cash App? Edit for verdict. Not the asshole. And op should stand up for their family as necessary and appropriate. Not the asshole, but it's not really your fight to have. And I don't think it would work. Encourage your mom to tell her son, I love you. But I am not comfortable traveling to a foreign country by myself. As such, I must decline the invitation to your wedding. I wish you many happy years in your marriage. Then RSVP no and don't go. Wait. Out of the entire guest list, the only person on your brother's side of the family is your mom? I just want to be clear that I'm reading this correctly. If that's the case, and your brother is so adamant about no one else even helping his own mother, it sounds like he's trying to cut you all out of his life. Or his bride is trying to cut you all out of his life. Whether you're the asshole or not, sometimes doing the right thing means being one. And if your mother is truly afraid, maybe she's not using the right words to make your brother understand. If he does understand and still behaves this way, you've got your answer and he's definitely the asshole. Not the asshole. This isn't your brother's marriage. This is his wife's wedding and his family doesn't fit in. Yes, your mother should decline, because she shouldn't go alone. Info. Any idea why your brother is fine with literally leaving his entire family out of his wedding? That's so weird. Honestly, if your mom isn't allowed to bring another person to the wedding, she should just bring a friend for the rest of the weekend anyways, and they can be with her outside of the actual wedding. I get not wanting to force your bro to change his guest list, but he can't stop people literally being in the area.